Hebrew family, how y'all doing today? So, today's show is called Hollywood Backdoor. There's a lot of adults now who were children in Hollywood who are talking about their molestation. How they were on the casting couch, how they were molested, and there were a lot of gruesome things that were done to them in the industry. And the realization is that we are now in the sixth seal. Never and before in our lifetime have we been getting this type of information. And this type of information all at once. First, the Pizzagate situation. Then you have Harvey Weinstein that we're going to talk about, and a lot of other lists of celebrities. And of course, this has been going on for years. But why now is the question. Question is, well, the answer is that we're in the sixth seal. And this is pretty interesting. We'll be back in just a moment after the short break. Michael Isreal, Real TV. It's like that. It's like that, y'all. It's like that. Real TV, Michael Isreal. Coming to you. And we're back. Real TV. Again, this is Michael Isreal. Thank you for tuning in. So, again, today's topic is called Hollywood Backdoor. And we have to touch on this situation. So, not only is Harvey Weinstein in the news about what's going on, about the different models he molested and coerced into having sex, but recently you have Corey Feldman, who was just recently arrested on a marijuana charge. I can't forget the state, but they picked him up on marijuana, which you could take with a grain of salt because they just wanted to get him. his last post on Twitter was saying that he was devising a plan to take down the pedophiles. So when you put two and two together, you know that he was set up. And it's all over the news that there's a plot for his death, etc., etc., right? Now, another thing that's very interesting is that ever since Trump has been into office, there's been more pedophilia arrests and exposings, or not exposings, but pedophilia revealed in like all of our history, right? So that's very interesting. Again, we're living in the end times, and the information is starting to surface. So, we can't be surprised about what's going on. What they like to tell the populace is that if you work hard, you can make it. If you put your mind to it, if you believe in your dreams and you stick to it, anything can happen. Just dream big and, it can happen. But it's not so much about dreaming big. Scripture tells us not to hearken to our dreams. You know what I'm saying? So this whole Hollywood thing, you can't work for Satan and not think that the cards are going to be fair. That's not how it works. So, with that being said, we could do many examples. The Jackson 5, for one. Yeah, Michael, his brothers, they weren't just a group that had talent. They were a group that went through the molestation ritual also. Joe Jackson knew what his children was getting into, and he wanted the money. He gave his children up for a paycheck. They molested Michael, they molested them boys, and he did it all for money. He knew what they were doing to his kids. And I wouldn't be surprised if he even watched. And you can't be shocked to think that Joe Jackson himself wasn't involved in that they didn't go up in him. Now this show may be a little explicit, but I got to keep it real with you. This is real TV. We could talk about Chris Brown, how his mother gave him up as a child, because you remember when he got into the game, he signed his contract, I want to say at about 15 or 16 or something like that. So basically he had to have parental consent. So his mother gave him over all for a paycheck. Also the men of the industry, the men of the industry and women also can't cancel them out. But when these elite want someone that's in the industry, they're going to have them by any means. They're going to have sex with them. They're going to make them go down on them. They're going to make them go up into them. You know what I mean? They're going to get what they want regardless. To them, they have everything in the world. They have all the money in the world. Any car they want in the world. Any woman, any trip, you name it. Type of food is more. When they have all of that stuff, they get bored. They get tired of the little things. They want what they can't have, and they're evil. They do these heinous and sexual acts for ritual magic, like a sexual magic type of deal. All this Satanist orchestration, you know what I'm saying? But so you got Jackson 5, Chris Brown. You could use even Amarion, right? We could say that because we know that there's a group called what was that group name? With the three guys, they had a song called Extra, 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 read all about it. I can't think of the group, But it had Marquise Houston, a guy with like a patch on his eye, and dang it, I can't think. It's like immature, right? So you had that group, but you know them boys was touched. Like something was just, and a lot of the other groups from country music, R&B singer, rap artists. We're not even gonna go too far, but just stay on subject. Um, Omarion came out years later in the group B2K, and you know that all them boys was ran up in the whole group. Raz B talked about it. Fizz, what was it? The whole group. Marquise Houston. You know what I mean? Marquise Houston and Bow Wow. Oh my goodness, they got Bow Wow. Snoop Dogg brought him in the game and got him young. They groomed him, and oh goodness, Omarion and Bow Wow had a relationship together. Them boys, oh my goodness, it's sad. It's sad. And but yeah, this is the world that we living in. And the fact of the matter is that all of this is coming to fruition now. Like, people are starting to talk about it now. After all these years, people are coming out the woodworks now. Now, we can't just narrow it down to rap groups and R&B groups. There's so many people that we can name that the list goes on forever. We all already know that Corey Feldman himself, the guy from Goonies, was molested. We could take it all the way down to the Olsen twins, Mary Kate and Ashley. Was it Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen? See, they like to get them while they're young. They get them while they're young, and they have them start off in these commercials. And, you know, since they're young, see, they basically pimping the parents. They're pimping the parents into the game. How? Because they'll start them off with like a commercial gig. Maybe a small part in the film, but they'll start off with commercials. And for each commercial, it'll range from $7,000 to about $10,000 to $12,000 per gig. So the parents are influenced by the money. You have like the Olsen twins, for example. They don't know anything about that. They didn't know anything about how much they were being paid and getting back then. They didn't know their value. All they knew was that, you know, they had to read some lines and blase blase. They didn't know that. So the parents gave them in, all for a buck. And if someone in the industry wanted them, they got them through Hollywood Backdoor. And the women are even worse. The women are even worse to the extent that, how can I say? It's just, put it like this. You can't put nothing past the industry. The men and women are equally involved that are behind the curtain. When I say that, they'll like, this is crazy, but it's true. They'll like bathe the kids. They have a handler bathe your daughter or your son. For example, the woman bathe another mother's child and literally bathe them, touching on them, feeling on them and stuff. Because they want to see the look on the child's face. Because they know they ain't supposed to be doing it. They get off by that. And then what they'll do, the child get all antsy or whatever, and then they'll say, okay, they'll dry them off, whatever. You go ahead and get something to eat, play some video games or whatever, blase blase. And then when they get something to eat or drink, it's spiked. That cupcake that they're eating, that juice that they're drinking is spiked with some type of drug. And then that's how they get them. And by the time they turn 15, they're already hooked on some type of drug. Whether it's crack, cocaine, meth, marijuana, pills, whatever you name it. Because they've been started off with this stuff so young. Pardon the noise there. But they've been started off so young. And we wonder why they're all distraught and out of whack when they get older, because they've been through so much trauma that they just can't take it anymore. All this MK Ultra mind control and things like this, right? And that goes to say the whole thing with what's his name? Bill Cosby. About a year ago. I want to say, was that like a year ago? With Bill Cosby? About 2 years. Yeah, about 2 years or so. when he got in this situation, they came out of woodwork. See, the thing about Bill was this. Bill, of course, we already know he said something about Trump. He was on some type of news interview. And the lady said, how do you feel about Trump becoming president? And he's like, oh, Trump is do this. And he was moving his hand. All he do is run his mouth. And he was moving his hands, you know. All he do is this. He run his mouth. Oh, I don't want to talk about no Trump. So that was the first thing. And when they come after you, they don't do it right away. They'll wait 2 years, 3 years, or something like that. But in the meanwhile, they watch the clip of them being talked about. And what they'll do, they'll take and get, I'm just giving you an example. I'm keeping it real. I got to keep it real. This is real TV. When Bill Cosby said that about Trump, he was like, okay, no, don't worry about it. We'll get him. We'll get him later. You know, not right now. And at that same time, when he's watching that interview of Bill say that, he calls in a black girl or a group of black girls to go in and handle their business with him in his office or in his penthouse as this little emotional revenge, right? And then years later, he'll come up with a plan and, I want this, that, I want him taken down. I want him, you know. And then next thing you know, all these allegations. But to stay on point, they also brought him down because of NBC, right? He tried to buy NBC about like 2 times, maybe even 3 times. And the thing is that not just because he wanted to buy NBC, but he wanted to make it a black culture thing. They was like, okay, you know, you want to buy NBC? Well, let us get your wife. You know, we're gonna have to get you to sacrifice your wife. You want Camille, right? He's like, no, I'm not giving you my wife. I already gave y'all my son. You know, his son, you know, got caught up in the in the mix years ago. I want to say the late 90s or something like that. He sacrificed his son. Anyways, I was like, okay, we can't get Camille, your wife. Let's get your daughter. No, I'm not giving you my wife. I'm not giving you my daughter. So since he didn't want to do that, they came after him anyway for wanting to buy NBC for like the second and the third time. They was like, okay, all right. So since you want to turn it into a black culture thing, you know, you don't want to give us your wife. We're going to give you your daughter. You don't want to give us your daughter. We're going to bring you down anyways. See, he's in the thing. This is how Satan works, though. You're already a part of the team, and he's still going to come and get you. Because you know he's a Q. Not only he's a Q, but I'm pretty sure he's in some type of Mason, some type of degree. I don't know which degree, but once you get to a certain point in these fraternities and sororities, you cross over either to Order of Eastern Star, Freemason, OTO, or whatever other higher-ranking elite club there is, right? It's just a little baby club. It's just an umbrella within an umbrella, under Satan. But again, so that's how it works. It's all about sacrifice to them. And this is Hollywood Backdoor. This is what they do. Not only that, all of this stuff is coming on now about what's going on within this pedophilia Hollywood agenda being exposed. But let me tell you this, and I'm you know what? Matter of fact, I'm gonna take a quick break, and then I'll come back and I'll tell you this, and I'm gonna go ahead and close the show after this one quick moment. Yeah, you know, maybe one day you'll awake, or maybe you're already awoken, but don't run away from the truth. We need the truth. Don't run away from the truth. Yeah. Hang in there. Run the race all the way to the end. Run the race all the way to the end. Spending money not the only thing we need to do. Giving money to the poor is what we need to do. A lot of lies in this world, but we need the truth. I know you run away, but we need the truth. I know you wanna run away, but we need the truth. It's like we living in the cage, living in the zoo. Why you wanna run away when we need the truth?
All right.
Why you wanna run away when
Isreal
we need
here
the truth?
with Real TV. So before I share this last thing with you about Hollywood Backdoor, I want to tell you these 4 things. These 4 stages of truth that everyone goes through. You may believe this and you may not. But that's not for me to judge. That's not for me to determine. I just give you the message and my job is done. Okay? So it's this. We go through these 4 stages of truth in life. First is cognitive dissonance. It's when you get the truth, but then you ridicule the truth because of your personal beliefs. You don't believe it. You can't believe it. You literally go through a brain bubble, if you will, where your mind just almost bursts into pieces because almost like a breakdown because you can't believe the truth because it's just so hard to believe. You just can't believe. It's very emotional. It's very emotional. So that's stage 1, cognitive dissonance. Right? And then 2 is that when the idea comes up is that you're opposed to it. You're opposed to the truth. You think it's completely absurd. Right? And then the third part is that if I was to tell you the truth about something, that I show you an orange and I say this orange is orange, then you're like, well, okay, yeah, that's self-evident. That's true. That's an orange, of course. So then the third stage is self-evident, right? And then the fourth stage is that it's so true that you just laugh at it. You can see truth over and over. It becomes laughable to a point. So you have these 4 stages of truth. Cognitive dissonance. You have 2 where you think it's completely absurd. 3, where the truth becomes self-evident. And then 4, the truth becomes laughable. Right? So with that being said, this Hollywood Backdoor extends to a whole nother level. And we could talk about this days on end. But I'm not. I may do another show right back to back after this. I'm not sure if I'll do a video just yet because I still got a lot of rendering and editing to do. But I may just do another podcast back to back. But this last thing is just so out of whack. In Hollywood, if you're planning, I don't know who this is for, but I know there's somebody out there who thought of this or was probably thinking of this, probably to get more monetary gain. I know there's women out there who want to quit college and be strippers or want to provide for their family and become strippers. There's guys out there who want to become pimps. There's guys out there who want to join the porn industry and go to Hollywood or LA and do just that. Put your soul on the line knowing that it's the wrong thing to do. And as guys, you're probably taking pills, popping pills, getting pumps and stuff like that because you're trying to be the next big man out there. I know this is a little far-fetched. This is, like I said, this is a little explicit. But I got to keep it how it is. I got to keep it 100. This is Real TV. Out there in Hollywood and other parts of the world, but mainly in LA, what you think is real is not real. LA, just think of it. Los Angeles, angels, right? Los Angeles, fallen angels, Los Angeles. All right, I ain't gonna go too far. All right, so check. They have it where these guys in the porn industry are getting procedures now to get their genitalia cut off, they get it hollowed out. They hollow out the stem of the penis, and they hollow out the scrotum. They hollow out the whole sack, right? And what they do, they put that part in a jar, and then they'll put a pump inside the male genital area and stitch it up. So in the scene, when a man, by nature, a woman could say a certain thing, or maybe touch his leg, or what happened, and then boom, next thing you know, the elevator goes up. He gets, the Jolly Rancher thing going on, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Man gets hard. All right, I'm gonna just keep it blunt. The man gets aroused and he gets hard, right? Okay, so then they have it now with these men get these procedures with the pumps, and they have a button under their balls. They have a button under their balls. They click the button. Instead of a woman touching them or saying something to them, they have to click the button under their balls, and then the pump squishes, goes, and it just gets them hard. It's not even what you think it is. Back in the 90s, they used to have it on their pelvis, where all they had to do was just like press their pelvis, press the button on their pelvis a couple of times, and then they'll get up. Now they put it under the scrotum. And you think they whacking off and playing with themselves just to get on. And that's not even what it is. It's not even a real deal. This is Hollywood Backdoor. This is what's going on right now. Yet you say you want to be in the industry. Don't you know that 75%, let's just go ahead, don't you know that 95%, don't you know, let's go ahead and say, don't you know that 100% of the men that's in the industry are gay, are bisexual? Like, you can't be straight and think like you're going to be in the industry straight. Not in Hollywood Backdoor. They're going to have a man measure your penis. They're going to have a man measure your girt, all that stuff. And then they're going to say, okay, they're like, well, nah, I just want to be in the scene with the women. And they're like, okay, but we understand that. But if we need you in a bigger scene with multiple men and women, we need to know that you're not going to act all funny and weird in a room on the set. So they'll be like, okay, we need you to, touch yourself in front of us right now. Or we need you to do this and that. You're like, man, I ain't trying to do it. Well, hey, listen, you said you want to do this. So what you going to do? Either you're going to do this or you can go back home. Man, I'm not even trying to. Y'all didn't say this when we got into the. Listen, it's everybody do it. Listen, bro, I'm not gay. I'm straight. You see, I did it. I had to do it. Man, let me show you. Let me show you how to do it. This is how you do it right here. Look, stand by me. I'm going to just do my thing and you do your thing. We'll just look at the film together. So we could practice what it's like going to be in the room. You say you like girls, right? What kind of girl you like? What? Asian, black, white, Indian? Yeah. So yeah, what you want? You like them thick? You like them skinny? Long hair with curly hair? Whatever you want, we could get it. We can fly you down Miami. Hey, oh yeah, by the way, you and the guy, you ever thought about me? Man, I ain't into that. All right, I'm just joking. Nah, but you never thought about doing, it's more money if you with the guys, like 3,000 a scene. Man, how much you said? How much? No, I'm good. Oh, no, that's fine. Well, if you like the woman, that's fine. It's only gonna be like $150, per scene or whatever. $50, maybe $150. You don't. All you want is you just want to do it, right? This Hollywood Backdoor. So, you know what I mean? We won't have your face in the clip. It's not about you. It's about the women. So we're not gonna put your face in it or nothing like that. And this is the mindset that you have in trying to go into the industry, all for money, knowing that you're gonna catch a disease. Knowing that you're going to catch AIDS, you're going to get some. You're going to get something. They don't use condoms, man. They don't use condoms. What you think this is? What do you think this is, man? So, like I said, I don't know why I'm touching on this, but I know that somebody needs this. And my hands aren't clean because at one point, as a young man,
in my early teens, I had the ambition to do those things. So I have to talk about it now because my mind has changed. And I'm sure there's a young man out there who have the same mindset I did, or there's a woman out there who is on the verge of being evicted, maybe, and thinking that this is what she needs to do. So I'm just hoping that you could think twice. So maybe there's a family member out there who's thinking about sending their child to Disney or to Nickelodeon or something, all for a check. And the first thing they're going to do is tell you that your handler is going to be like, yeah, well, after they send you, you get your little $10,000 checks for the commercials or whatever. They're going to say, well, how about you, we're going to need you to move down to Miami or LA. They're not really going to say New York just yet, I want to say. Because New York is kind of like the grand finale. Like once you kind of initiate it in a little bit more, once you broken in a little bit. So they're going to ask you to come down to Miami or LA for better scenes, for better deals, for more money. Because it's a bigger city. They got more connects, more networks and stuff like that, right? And then you're going to be like, oh, okay. And then next thing you know, they're going to say something like, all right, well, there's this guy here, he has this problem with children, but, listen, don't worry, there's security and everything in there watching, on set. And then next thing you know, they're going to be like, what if anything happens, don't worry, we'll be there to watch your kid, right? And then your kid comes home, or I'd rather say your child. I don't want to say kid because kid means goat, right? But when they're in that industry, they become goats. They become kids, Satan's instruments of choice, if you will. Hence, I highly recommend the movie called 100 Days of Sallow that talks about this. It's not family friendly, but it does talk about what the elites do and what the industry is all about. Okay, moving on. And then your child will say, Mom, they touched me or something like that. And then the handler will be like, oh, that guy, again, we had security. All he did was just, grab her butt, by accident. He spanked her on the butt. And he said, but listen, we threw a couple extra, we threw an extra $20,000 in there. And, but the only thing that's going through your mind is that we threw an extra $20,000 in there. You're dismissing the fact that your child just said, Mommy, he spanked me on the butt. He grabbed my butt. In your mind, you like, oh, don't worry about it. It's in the industry. You surrounded by, that's Disney. Don't worry, they ain't gonna do nothing. That's just a modeling agency. He didn't mean to do that. So you need to go in there, you need to do your job, and you need to get your head on right. Because we didn't come this far for you to mess it up. And that's the mindset you have, all because of Hollywood Backdoor. Listen, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and shut the show down now because I just wanted to say that real quick because you needed to know this. You need to know this. Real TV, Michael Israel.